It touched my heart. It touched my heart, family. Let me say, first and foremost, I rise, giving praise to the great God of the universe, Allah. I give honor to his noble, illustrious prophet, noble Drew Ali, that said the profound statement when he came to the people, if I can teach you to think, or if I can get you to think, you can save yourself. Many of us, we don't think today. Islam, I seen. Many of us, we don't think today. We're not putting two and two together. Well, let me say this. Many of us is not thinking with our mind. Many of us be thinking with the mind of the oppressor. We thinking with the mind of the one who's treating us just like we do this mouse. We press a button and we can make it do whatever we want it to do. Whatever we put in the computer, we can get some stuff out. We put too much crazy stuff in it, it's going to shut down on us. We willy-nilly on our computer without protection, we're going to get a virus. Well, that's what has happened to our people. And it has been happening to our people for quite some time. Now, I want to give you a few updates before I talk about this Moor National who shoots 3 police officers, killing 1, and ultimately his life being taken away by the way of the police. Now, y'all know that my campaign has always been and will always be that this Moorish national ideal as it relates to sovereign citizen ideology has nothing to do with the teachings of the prophet noble Drew Ali. Has nothing to do with it. The right to travel, in other words, getting pulled over by the police for a traffic violation, and your response is what? Do you have a delegation of authority? That's not Moorish science. That's not the teachings of the prophet noble Drew Ali. And we at Moorish World TV condemn the practice. That's number one. Number two, one moment. Let me get my brother in. Get my brother in. This brother is on point. This brother's on point. Where you at, brother? Hold up. Brother, hit me. Let me see. That was a good call. That was a good call. I'm going to get y'all. I want to get this brother on. Give me a minute. That was a good call. I'm going to get this brother back on. Give me 1 second. Let me get this 1 second. Matter of fact, I'm going to call the brother. I'm going to call the brother. Let me see. So the point of the matter is that Islam family, I'm live in the flesh. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can. Can you hear me? Okay, Moor. Let me hold up, Moor. You didn't call me at a bad time, but you family, so I can't ignore your call. That's like if Ishmael called me or one of the Moors called me that I ain't heard from. I can't look at your number and don't answer. Moor, what you doing to me, Moor? What you doing?
Tune into this broadcast on YouTube, man.
Moor, I want to call you midway through. Can I call you back midway through?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's me and Brother Faulkner L right here. We've been building the past 3 days, man.
Brother, you know what?
I've been able to get out this more site, man. The Mo got me like Jacob had the angel.
But you already know you already know how we moving, right?
I'm gonna be the more you gonna remember.
Tell him again, brother.
I'm gonna be the more you gonna remember. And what you say? They trying to attach $1 to the sign. What you say? You dropped a whoa. Yo,
I say, oh, you super scholars holler. That's what you talking about?
Yeah, but you said that they trying to attach a dollar to the super scams. You said something about they trying to attach the scams with the science or something. That's crazy, bro. We're about to tune in, though, man. I just want to show you some love, yo.
That's what it is. That's what it is, brother. Shout out to my brother Folk Hill, up and coming Grand Sheik there in North Carolina. That's just what it gonna be. That's right. This is our summer. I said it. Islam, brother.
Sea Cannon Bay USAR Moors, they left today again. So, you know, we're going to keep banging and swinging, keeping the prophet out front. You know what I'm saying? Defending the gospel, man.
That's just what it is.
Opportunistic ways, man. Another sister took her children, man. She left. She said, not me, man.
Praise the Lord. We got him. Brother, stand by. I'm going to call you back in a little bit. My people waiting for me. We about to go in. Islam. So listen, the brother, I was trying to say, you know what I mean, the super scholar holler. Let me tell y'all super scholar holler. What I mean by that? I said the super scholar, you super scholar holler. This era for the workers. You ain't building on the ground. You worse than a twerker. You look and sound good, but that's only on the surface. Probably working for them people. Now tell me what's your purpose. They here fronting. But anyway, family, I lost my thought because my brother called, but let me catch the thought back. So we here at Moorish World TV condemns the practice. We condemn, not no we, me, I, Tierre Bay, condemn the practice that if you're driving on a road without the proper identification and you asking people for the delegation of authority, which to them is the key word to deal with you in a certain way and a certain manner. Secondly, if you're driving on a road in the United States and you get pulled over for a minor traffic violation or major traffic violation and you saying that you have the right to travel, we or me here on Moorish World TV condemn the practice, and I declare that that is not Moorish science, nor is it Prophet Noble Drew Ali's teaching. It never was and never will be and has never had a place in the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali's doctrine. Never. That doctrine is a sovereign European citizen doctrine, if you will. That's the phrase that they coined. That's the phrase that the European coined to identify those who are opposed to doing things consistent with how the government locally or nationally is ran. That's their phrase. And I'm using the phrase, I don't care if that's an oxymoron, sovereign citizen. I'm using the phrase and the terminology so you can identify what I'm talking about. These were Europeans that created this ideal to be in opposition of the United States government. So we don't get with that in the Moorish Science Temple of America. We don't believe in any injustice that is perpetrated by the government as it relates to our human rights. We don't get with that. You know what I mean? Adam Work said that is not true. Brother, it's very true. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali has never, and there's not a single iota shred of evidence that says Prophet Noble Drew Ali works support that. Not one. That is a sovereign citizen doctrine born out of the European sovereign citizen movement, adopted by one of the best orators that we know of the doctrine, Taj Tariq Bey. I said it, Taj Tariq Bey. He is one of the founding fathers of the Moorish national ideal, which the European coined the phrase Moorish sovereign citizen. I said it. You don't like it, that's on you. It's not Moorish science. It never will be. It never was. All right, so I got that out the way. So now I got my brother Ishmael Bey on here. We like Batman and Robin on these topics. We ain't let nobody get away. This brother, and I'll let Ishmael Bey start it off, but this brother got caught up. This brother got caught up drinking the juice. This brother got caught up drinking the Jim Jones Moorish National juice. He got caught up, unfortunately. I want to say, may Allah bless those who lost their life, whether it be the police officers, whether it be my brother, you know, the Prophet Noble Ali teaches us that when you really understand Allah or love Allah, you don't wish anything to suffer. None of his creation to suffer. You wouldn't even smash a bug under your feet, as the Prophet Noble Ali said. I ain't saying. I just tried to my best to subscribe to it. And for the most part, I'm not there yet. Because some of these brothers that be coming at me, it may come a time I got to crush them underneath my feet like a bug. I ain't there yet. I'm working on it. I'm working on it, Allah. I'm going to look up. I'm going to look up. I'm going to look up. Oh, my God. Like I'm one of them old people back in the day. Anyway, so before we start the show, I got a few things I want to add. I want to share with you, family, one thing you don't want to miss. And I implore you not to miss it. We are going to have a beautiful show. Where's this here? We're going to have a beautiful show coming to the Moorish World TV. And I'm setting it up right now. We're going to have a beautiful show coming to Moorish World TV tomorrow, family. Family, we got one of the greatest Moorish leaders of our time, and I'm going to tell you why I said you ain't got to like it. I'm going to call it how I see it. I'm going to call a spade a spade. You ain't got to like it. This is my opinion. We got one of the greatest Moorish leaders of our time, Supreme Grand Sheikh Ras Sadiel. And what I mean by one of the greatest Moorish leaders of our time, if you don't like it, that's your problem, but hear what I'm saying. We're going to have him on the show tomorrow. It's going to be a heavy interview. I'm not going to hold no questions back. If anybody have questions, you can email me at taharkabay@yahoo.com. You can email me at taharkabay@yahoo.com. And when I mean that he's one of the great Moorish leaders, he is one that is recognized throughout the Moorish paradigm, whether you accept him as your leader or not. There's about 4 leaders, Supreme Grand Sheikhs, if you will, that govern their organization and their body under the name Moorish Science Temple of America, and he's one of them. We also have Supreme Grand Sheikh Prathael. We also have Supreme Grand Sheikh R. Jones Bey, Grand Sheikh and moderator. We have Supreme Grand Sheikh Baliel. We have Supreme Grand Sheikh Kenyu Bey. We have Supreme Grand Sheikh Dawood Ali. We have Supreme Grand Sheikh Ras Sadiel. We have Supreme Grand Sheikh Baliel. Now, these names are very significant because everybody know them. We don't, here, I don't subscribe that we are going to come together. Lomax Bey, Islam, Supreme Grand Sheikh Lomax Bey. I don't subscribe to the idea that one day we all go hold hands and go under the tent of one person. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with that. I believe that all of these leaders, Dawood Aliel, there you go. I believe that all these leaders, if they teach their children, if they teach their followers, if they teach their members to learn to love instead of hate, we can be that great empire like once before, where there was a group over here that did not live like the group over there. where there was something going on, what we call Mexico today, and there was something going on in what we call Morocco of yesterday. But guess what? When they traveled, they all got along with one another. We need to cease to think that we're going to all hold hands and run underneath one leader. Those days are gone, whether you like it or not. Those days are gone. So now what the leaders must do is teach the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali to the best of their ability, teach their followers, their friends, and their supporters to learn to love instead of hate, to respect one another, and then we can move forward as an empire again. See, when the empire was in effect, all the Moors didn't see things alike. All the Moors didn't see things alike. So one of the main conditions that I use to qualify those who subscribe to the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali is, do they open their meetings according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice? Do they read the Quran? Do they read the questionnaire in their Friday Holy Day meeting? Do they have their Sunday school? Do they close their meeting with the divine warning? And do they do their best to stick to the script as taught by Noble Drew Ali? If I feel that you're trying, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. And I don't judge you one way or the other. Matter of fact, I don't really judge to pass judgment or to condemn anybody. I just compare to the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So tomorrow we're going to have Rasadiel. If anybody know Rasadiel, man, let me tell you, I'm going to tell y'all tomorrow how I was introduced to Rasadiel. And y'all going to be surprised, like, what? Yup. What? So don't think he ain't come at me. Don't think he ain't come at me, because he came at me too. You know what I mean? That's right. Don't think he ain't come at me. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get this started. Let me let my brother come in the chat. I know I've been loud for a second. Let me let my brother Ishmael Bey come on in the chat and introduce himself. Let me hold on. Last time I seen this brother family, me and Ishmael, we had some words on the chat. He called on the phone, but guess what? When I asked the brother, was he ready? I ain't ask him, brother, I'm doing the show on such and such. I just said, brother, you ready? He said, I'm always ready. Mind you, just 2 weeks ago, you would think me and Ishmael Bey had some type of beef going on. But it wasn't no beef. We was talking information. And when we can get to the point where we can talk information and let the information speak for itself, whether we agree or not, it depends. Everything will fall for the people to subscribe for what they want to subscribe to, whether it be his point of view, my point of view. At the end of the day, we still brothers under the same oppressive regime. So ain't no use to me continue to fighting Ishmael Bey about some information. We can debate about some information. We can have a conversation about some information. We get heated about some information. But after the information, that's my brother. And I would stand toe to toe, knock heads down to the white meat for my brother. And that's just what it is. But without no further ado, my brother Ishmael Bey. How you doing, my brother?
Peace and blessings, King. How you doing, Brother Tarker?
There you go. Listen to the voice.
How you doing, Ro?
Brother, I'm doing fine, brother. I'm doing well. Thank you for coming to the show on a short notice. I just asked you, was you ready? And you said, I'm always ready.
Stay ready, God. Stay ready. Oh, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, my brother. But listen, I know that you are one who keeps track of a lot of this stuff that's going on as it relates to our people, whether it be the Moorish paradigm, whether it be our people subscribing to Ron Hubbard, whether it be our people having misinformation within the, I'm going to say, the African diaspora. That means anything that comes out of Africa, whether it migrated, whether we migrate, whatever, any information, you be on the pulse of it. And so I think it's only right that I gave you the heads up. Are you ready, brother? What you think about this story before we move in on it?
Sure, brother. Just for the people that need to get brought up to date with it, the newest update is posted on the backside for you to post up, and you're welcome to read it just to bring the people up to date. What happened was that there was an incident just 4 days ago, and it ended up being a shootout, as you accurately described, and it ended up being our brother being killed, as well as one of the deputies being killed. It was a total of 3 deputies that was hurt with it, and it ended up being, you know, they all had children, and it ended up being 5 sons with no fathers. You know what I mean? So just in this incident alone is 5 boys that don't have their father. So an indication of just how quickly these things can go. But we want to be able to add a backdrop and again, understand that the information that people are getting and mixing it with misinformation, it can change you and go into a direction that can end up causing unnecessary bloodshed and also putting a lot of other people in jeopardy, not only your immediate family, but even the expanded family of us as Moors, because people will, you know, we're talking about deputies being murdered by people who are claiming a certain Moorish ideology. You're now putting even more Moors in jeopardy by these type of incidents happening. And as you stated earlier, just a few moments ago, you said over minor traffic incidents. You know, so if we're able to read what happened with that article, we'll be able to see exactly what transpired. Are you able to pull up the article at all, brother?
So what I'll do is, in conjunction to that, I will play this video, and I will also read the article on the back of the video, just so people can have clear clarification of what we are addressing. So here's
Brother Taharka.
Yes, here's the video, and then we will read the article so we can have clear clarification as to what they wrote 4 days ago, or what they reported 4 days ago, and what they reported now. Islam.
Community is in mourning tonight. A police officer backing up deputies shot to death in the line of duty.
We found out that there was a shooting and there was officers running down the street to the house, and it was just crazy.
2 other officers are alive, but wounded.
The families and all 3 of these officers.
Tonight, what happened inside this Henry County home as officers tried to make an arrest?
Well, tonight we have learned the name of the officer who died in the line of duty, Chase Maddox. The mayor of Locust Grove tells us the 26-year-old had been with the police department for nearly 5 years.
That breaking news is our top story tonight at 6. A chaotic scene unfolding earlier today in Henry County.
2 Henry County deputies were serving a warrant on a man who lived on St. Francis Court. And while they tried to arrest the man, authorities say he opened fire, injuring the deputies and killing Officer Maddox. One of the deputies returned fire and killed the gunman.
We have team coverage of this breaking story from the scene and from the hospital. Let's start first, though, with Fox 5's Moors Diggs, who is live in Locust Grove. Moors, what can you tell us?
Well, Chase Maddox enjoyed being a law enforcement officer. Everybody loved him, is what one brother in blue told me. Now his law enforcement family is trying to comfort his wife. You see, Chase was due to accept another child in the family any day.
It is a very emotional time for the Henry County community.
2 Henry County deputies, Michael Corley and Ralph Sidwell Calloway, survived the violent encounter, but Locust Grove City Officer Chase Maddox did not. And he was first in line in the attempt to carry out an arrest. In the St. Francis Fort subdivision in Locust Grove, law enforcement went there this morning to serve a minor warrant. In minutes, gunfire, officer's death.
We have 2 deputies that were shot and 1 Locust Grove officer that was shot. The Locust Grove police officer died shortly afterwards at the hospital.
And the individual sought for failing to show up for a court appearance was shot dead.
You never know when you're going to take somebody into custody what kind of response you're going to get. But what we can, what our information is that it was obvious that the individual was not going to go.
The sources tell Fox 5 the fallen Locust Grove officer was struck in the head. The 2 Henry deputies hit in the body.
We understand that the bulletproof vest played a key role in the officers who survived, at least the ones that's, I believe, in fair condition. Perhaps that the vest played a role in that, basically a bruise, something in that effect.
Both the sheriff's deputies had on vests. One, the one that's in fair condition, the round hit the vest. The deputy that's in surgery, the round probably went maybe 2 inches below his vest into the stomach.
This incident has touched the greater community. I spoke to one elderly woman who did not want to be on television. She brought a bouquet of flowers, went into the police department and just gave it to the secretary to say, this is for the department. This is one first that Locust Grove did not want to ever see. Locust Grove has been around for more than 100 years. This is the first officer to die in the line of duty. I'm going to turn now to Patty Pan, who has reaction. Patty?
Well, you know, we are here in this community where this shooting happened. I can tell you it's still a very active scene. People here still can't believe that something like this happened in their subdivision. Now, once this shock wears off, I can tell you that residents here are saddened to hear that an officer has died and 2 other deputies are now in the hospital. Many just want to know how this all happened.
It just saddens me, and it's scary. It's scary.
Felicia Glover, like many of the residents who live at Hawthorne and Linden Park subdivision, couldn't be more heartbroken in news that Locust Grove officer Chase Maddox is dead and 2 Henry County deputies are in the hospital.
I'm saddened. It's a very quiet neighborhood.
Glover, like many others, were kept from going home Friday afternoon as authorities closed off the subdivision and worked the scene at St. Francis and St. Philip's courts. Authorities say the 3 officers were serving a warrant when the shooting happened. The suspect is also dead. Teenager Kiera Maribel was home around the corner being homeschooled.
I heard it sounded like firecrackers going off. And, you know, I didn't think much of it.
She says immediately after she knew something was wrong.
There was cop cars zooming up and down the street, and my sister was like, there's cop cars, and we were just like, wait, what? And then we came outside, and it just escalated really quickly, and we found out that there was a shooting, and there was officers running down the street to the house, and it was just crazy.
For hours, law enforcement officers were on the scene gathering evidence and piecing together the sequence of events that led to this deadly shooting. Back out here live, as you can see, it's still a very active scene. It appears authorities, agents, they're going to be out here for a long time.
Deputy to the hospital with gunshot wounds.
We spoke with the brother of Deputy Michael Corley outside of Atlanta Medical Center. He tells us his brother was saved by his bulletproof vest.
Oh, that much is good news. And Christy Hutchins with the new Talk 1067 is live there tonight. Christy, you've seen his families have arrived too.
Yes, we saw them as they got here. Some of them actually had police escorts to get them here quicker, get them through that traffic. And like you said, we did speak with Deputy Michael Corley's brother just shortly after he saw that his brother was going to be okay.
Just got to lay hands on another day, so but just pray for these families. There's a lot going on right now, a lot going on in there, but just pray for them.
Wade Corley was one of many rushing into Atlanta Medical Center after learning their loved ones had been shot. Wade talks about hearing the news for the first time that his brother had been in a shooting.
I had both the boys with me today, so when I got the call, it was bad.
Deputy Michael Corley was one of 3 officers brought here to Atlanta Medical Center. Deputy Corley had the least serious of the injuries. His best saved him.
We really hadn't had time to process what happened. Being shot is a whole different thing. This is the first time he's ever had to encounter something like this.
Deputy Rob Calloway was shot below the vest. He is out of surgery. But the 3rd officer, Locust Grove police officer Chase Maddox, did not survive.
We were here as law enforcement escorted his body from the hospital. Wade says right now what all the family need are prayers.
We need prayer, and all we can do is lift them up and let God take care of them.
And at the time of that interview, Wade did not know that Officer Maddox had passed away, but Wade also says that he wanted to take time to thank all the doctors, the nurses, and all the officers.
Islam. So let me stop sharing. So now I will share what I wanted to do is to show that, to give people a clear update as to what's going on. I appreciate your patience, but it only makes sense to show a clear picture of what we're talking about before we really get into addressing the mentality of this. And this is what my brother Ishmael shared, the update, the latest update. Sheriff, man kills Georgia officer, served eviction notice 9 days earlier. It goes on to say the man accused of killing a Locust Grove police officer and wounding 2 deputies had been served an eviction notice 9 days earlier, according to Henry County Sheriff Keith McBride. Tierre Guthrie, 39, failed to appear in court last year after being cited for illegally parking a commercial vehicle. His arrest warrant states he could have paid the fine and avoided going to jail, McBride told Channel 2 Action News. Instead, Guthrie, I hope if I butchered it, work with me. I butchered a lot of names and words. Spoke to deputies in language used by sovereign citizens of those who don't believe they have to abide by government regulations, McBride said. Guthrie shot deputies and Maddox, who later died. Deputies returned fire and shot Guthrie, who died at the scene. So that is the later update concerning the brother who actually untimely death as related to this Moorish national ideal, this sovereign ideal, had to lose his life because of concepts that is not even consistent with the origin in which they attribute the science or the terminology to, and that the terminology that I speak to is Moorish. The terminology of Moorish science comes from Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Give me 1 second, Ish. The terminology of Moorish science comes from Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And the Prophet Noble Drew Ali never, and I mean never, demonstrated anything remotely close to these things that we see or that is called sovereign citizen ideals, or that the European call sovereign citizen ideals. Prophet Noble Drew Ali never demonstrated anything remotely close to that. Nothing.
Prophet picture's upside down, brother. It's upside down.
Thank you. I'm getting that. I'm working. Thank you, brother. Because they're going to talk to him. Look at him. He put the prophet upside down. That's why he's something wrong with him. He Asian. But that's what they're going to say. That's what they're going to say, Ish. They're going to go crazy on me, Ish. You know they're going to do that, Ish. But anyway, I'll let my brother Ish take the floor, and then I will share some concepts, and me and my brother Ish will bounce it around. So, brother, the floor is yours, and then I'll open the lines up to let people call in momentarily.
I most certainly want to thank you again, Brother Tahaka, for taking the point and taking the lead on properly defending the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali on such a major way. There's so many other people who use their airwaves to keep spreading and perpetuating the misinformation. They do it night and they do it day. They spread this misinformation and it spreads like wildfire, and you see the results of what's happening for these people that keep on promoting this madness. Something that could have easily been taken care of. something that was a minor traffic, something that could have been simply paid for, and a brother could be alive, a police officer could be alive, 5 sons could have their fathers amongst them over something that could have been handled or even beat in the court. You could have simply taken it to court and had your discussion in court. But for it to take the result that it did, this is just yet another example of what we've been talking about. This sovereign Moorish ideology merging, and the way that it's being handled, you're putting so many lives in jeopardy. The facts are, when you go to the brother's Facebook page, he writes as a direct quote, he says that in February 2016, Guthrie had posted to a Moorish Science Temple of America site stating, "Peace, I'm a newcomer and I'm here to learn," unquote. So he was a newcomer in just 2016. He was not even a long-term, quote unquote, Moor dealing with the information. So, and that was just in 2016 when he was a newcomer. So somewhere he ended up merging his desire in 2016 of being new to this to what's being quoted as repeating the sovereign rhetoric. Again, the merging of the two. And that's exactly the kind of people that these people are looking for. The people that they can quickly turn into their ideology, get their money, put it in their pockets for selling their IDs, for selling their packets, their quick get rich quick schemes, whatever it is that they want to run. They keep on looking for these type of people. And we're losing our people in bunches by this. Our babies are losing their families. The sisters are being murdered. The brothers are being murdered. But you know who's going to keep on? Right on. They're going to keep on putting up their videos, keep on making their lecture tours, selling the same lies over and over again. So I salute you for always staying on the front line of keeping the proper information out there and making sure that the record is perfectly clear where we stand versus where those who keep on teaching the misinformation stand. We know who the people are that are teaching these lies, and we see the results of the people who are teaching these lies. But we also see the results of the Moors who are taking a true stand and the Moors who are doing the true work. So I salute you for that, brother, from one brother to another.
Islam, brother, and I support you also for all your efforts that you are always here to assist to bring some light to the matter. So we're gonna get right into it. First and foremost, this brother right here, this is the brother that I put on a flyer. This is the brother that shot out with the police. Now, when you look at this brother, let me show you. Let me stop for a minute. I look at detail of everything. He has on a truck driver earphone right here. I use it for the work that I do too. That means you're doing some serious driving or you're doing some serious work. When you go and look into the story, he had 3 children. This is what bothers me. This is what bothers me. But what really bothers me about brothers like that initiated this doctrine, and it doesn't matter if you get mad or not. Taj Tariq Bey initiates this doctrine. He initiates this doctrine. The right to travel in our community is initiated by Taj Tariq Bey. If somebody can tell me somebody before him, then I will accept it. But even then, I already know that Taj Tariq Bey and R.B. Bey are the founding fathers and mothers of this doctrine of right to travel. There is no way around it. In our community, they can get mad at me. Man, they can threaten me. They can say whatever they want.
No, they can't. No, they can't.
So they can say what they want
on
crazy
if they want to. They get aired the hell out.
But on these little platforms, they can do that because I can't see them face to face. But I'm telling you that this doctrine is founded and pushed by R.B. Bey. Now, I am very serious. Let's go to R.B. Bey website real quick. As I told y'all, 2018 is the year we shut it down. Listen, let me say this. Shout out and honor to my brother Sharif Anil Bey. Sharif told Moors, I think it was 3 years ago, and I got the video. Brother Sharif told Moors, he said, I'm telling y'all, this stuff is not right, and I'm paraphrasing. He said, Ishmael Bey and I have done way more and got away with way more using what we used to use with these concepts. It's played out now, and people are onto it. He said, at the time we did it, we knew more than the judges. Talking about him and Ishmael Bey. He said, but and now what's going to happen, they got a direct order, a directive, a shoot to kill order. This is what Brother Sharif said about 3 years ago in Temple No. 11 in Philadelphia. And it was one of the videos on jurisprudence. He said they got a right to kill order. This is what he said. Now we look at, after he says that, he look at Karen Gaines. We look at Karen Gaines. We look at this brother. You follow me? And unmentioned brothers that haven't made the news yet. Unmentioned sisters that haven't made the news yet. Probably died in some cell up in Arkansas somewhere for demonstrating this ideal. And I'm telling you, the brother literally said that. They got a shoot to kill order. It don't matter who shoot first. When they coming to address the sovereign ideal, and the silliest thing about it is when people say, oh, I ain't a sovereign citizen. Sovereign citizen don't go together. It don't even matter what you think if you ain't got the common sense to know that they classifying you and codifying you as one to be killed on sight. They can call it Rabbit Feet Joe. This is one of them Rabbit Feet Joes. That means kill you. You understand what I'm saying, Ish? They think because sovereign,
yes, sir.
They think that sovereign and citizen is an oxymoron, an oxymoronic term, or a term of contradictions. They think just because it's a term of contradiction that it don't apply to them, and it's not a code word, man. Moorish sovereign citizen is a cold word to take you out.
And that's exactly why Sharif and I made the decision to make sure that we were so vocal on trying to save as many lives as possible, because the technology of the internet, when we were even studying this and seeing how it was playing out, this was before the internet. This was before any of that. This was 25 years ago. So this is before. But when we started to realize that people were teaching this online and were reaching so many people, taking them into a direction, the most responsible thing that you can do is put out the accurate information, because you've already seen how it's going to play out. So I think it's very, very important that the Moors, if you understand more than the average person, Brother Taharka, the importance of imagery and how that is. The article that you just read, the first thing that you see is the flag, you know, of that newspaper put up there. So they're merging using this type of science. They realize what they're doing. So anybody that is flying that flag then becomes a target, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. So that's why it's so important that we're vocal and making sure that we address these issues, brother.
Yeah, and see that's critical. That's critical. That's critical. When I say Taj Tariq Bey, I'm saying what I can prove. I can prove that that's what he teaches. I can prove. Let me show you something. I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to Google it, then I'm going to screen share. RB right to travel. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to say nothing else. I'm just going to screenshot RB right to travel, and I'm going to show you what comes up. Let me share it with you. Now, and I'm going to share it with you. Give me a second. This is what comes up. Your personal liberty is a right or power of locomotion, of changing one situation or moving one person to whatsoever place one's own inclination may direct without imprisonment and restraint unless by due course of law. Family, mind you, this is a Black Laws dictionary. It's a dictionary. It defines terms. It doesn't put the terms in stone. It only defines it. Anybody know what a dictionary is? Or it says in the Black Law Dictionary, well, heck, if you go in any Webster dictionary, they give you 5 or 6 meanings. That don't mean that that meaning is in stone, the one that you choose to use. If it's out of context, you'll sound crazy. And a lot of these terms from the Black Laws Dictionary, as it relates to what you want to apply it to, sound crazy in 2018. But it makes sense to you. But it's a dictionary. Let's go again. Speeding while driving without a license, wrong plates, no registration, no tags, etc., has been held to be non-arrestable offenses. And they pull cases out that are legitimate cases. They pull them out that are legitimate cases. They just don't apply in real time. They don't apply. So these people that get pulled over, that subscribe to the Taj Tariq ideal, Cujo, him and his crew got hemmed up and locked up doing this stuff. They won't tell you that they got locked up. They say they got kidnapped. And then they still want to try to call it Moorish science. Has nothing to do with Moorish science. So it says, the right of a citizen to travel upon public highways and to transport one property thereon either. Now, one might say, I just did this just to show that a right to travel is connected to these sovereign, Moorish, Moor National ideals. Now, what this brother got hemmed up for is what you will call jurisdiction. He felt as though, although he got a ticket, they didn't have jurisdiction to bring him into court. Again, where does that come from? Who is the father of that? Who is the father of that? We already know who the father of that is.
And there's some important things to also point out, brother. Even in those court cases, like you just pulled up one that was Christie and Elliott. Christie wasn't no more, and Elliott wasn't no more. Exactly. And neither was the other case that was underneath it. But up there in that right-hand corner, you still got the Moorish flag. You still got the tree over on this side. You got the Moorish flag on that. So they're merging things. This has nothing to do with Moorish science whatsoever. None of those cases that they're using as the examples have anything to do with you claiming that you're a Moor. But yet by them merging this ideology into it, you're taking down a whole nation of people who are blindsided by, if the police pull them over and they're a Bay or they're Eel or they have a Fez or they have a flag, they have no idea that the police are already in a different mindset to murder them because the police are being murdered. So they already they're heightened and unprepared to take you and your children out. They don't care if you're Philando Castile with a child in the back. They're going to shoot you first. So you have to understand that you're being put in jeopardy by being silent. And the people who keep on pushing this ideology, you need to be banging on them, making sure that you understand that you're putting your own life in jeopardy by every time you're big upping them and you supporting them, because they're selling that package that Brother Tarka just showed for $50. That was just one. Some of them cost $100, $200, $300. That one was just for $50. So it's a hustle. You got to understand when you're being played.
Indeed, indeed. And to carry it to what the brother, I want to show the family, if you're just showing up, if you don't know Moorish science, I'm going to give you a brief lesson on Moorish science. Prophet Noble Drew Ali founded the Moorish Science Temple of America for the express purpose of uplifting fallen humanity. For the express purpose of uplifting falling humanity. That's what it was founded for. That's it. It wasn't founded as some secular cult group to separate yourself and to be in opposition of those around you. That's not what Moorish science was, and that's not what Moorish science is. Moorish science is predicated upon that we are all different nationalities in a whole paradigm called the United States, and in this era of time, anywhere you go, it's all different groups of nationality. We want a piece of the pie for the Moorish Americans. No different than that the Italians want a piece of the American pie, if you will, for the Italians. The Chinese and the Koreans and the so forth and so on want a piece of the pie. We want a piece of the pie as it relates to hard work, building a community, building grocery stores, our schools. We just want a piece of a pie, even the political pie. We just want a piece of the pie. We don't want nobody to give us nothing. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said a beggar people cannot achieve the highest height of spirituality. So when people start talking about we ain't paying taxes because we own the land, we the founders of the land, all that, we don't. Moorish Science Temple of America, founded by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, do not subscribe to that. We do not subscribe to that. We subscribe to the ideal of hard work and unity of the group with the consistent ideal, meaning that you and I know that there has not been a progressive Moorish ideal since the time of the prophet that has produced what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali produced.
That's very, very true.
And because it's not, it's up to us to produce it. Stop asking, what have the Moorish Science Temple of America done? What have this leader done? What has that leader done? What have you done and what are you doing becomes the question. Even speaking out to something like this makes more sense than asking what have the Moorish Science Temple of America has done. And I say all of that to say, if we make the conditions conducive for those who want something better, they wouldn't run to that. We don't speak out. This brother now has 3 babies without a father. 3 babies without a father over a parking ticket initiated by a parking ticket.
And for your listening audience, Brother Taharka, it was for, he had a commercial license. So for your listening audience who have a commercial license, they know and understand that when you do have a commercial license, you have to abide by even different type of rules than just a regular driver. If you're a commercial driver, because you're driving for the purpose of commerce or for business. So for you to even engage, yes, sir. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
No,
what are you about to say?
You're absolutely right. I have 3 tractor trailer drivers with commercial license and a brother within the temple. So you're absolutely right.
Right. So when you are even merging trying to attempt the whole Moorish sovereign ideology and be a commercial driver, you're really you're stepping even deeper into being wrong. Because if you're a commercial driver and you're parked somewhere and they give you a ticket as a commercial vehicle, you already know that you have to abide by certain rules. It's pretty much open and shut because you're in the purpose of you even having that license is for a specific reason. But it's certainly, like they said, it was simply going to be a fine that could have been paid as opposed to bullets flying and fathers dying. You have to understand that you have to be thinking more rational and you have to be in the right mindset to understand that, look, what's at hand here? Lives are being lost here on something that's preventable. So, and again, on the backside was posted up, you know, because Southern Poverty labels the sovereign Moorish groups as a hate group. So as soon as these things come up, they have under that Southern Poverty, since they label the Moorish sovereigns as a hate group, they have a hate watch. So that's what they post up on the day that it happens. They post up on the hate watch what's happening. And on the bottom of that particular article, they are very specific. It says, like other sovereign citizen groups, more sovereign ideology breeds anti-government and anti-law enforcement sentiments through its radical ideology, which can inspire members to intimidate, threaten, and harass government officials and law enforcement officers. Moorish sovereigns are also known to produce fraudulent legal documents which they use against perceived enemies, especially publicly elected officials they view as corrupt. Several recent incidents highlight Moorish sovereigns' propensity for violence and criminal activity, such as the January 2017 shooting, a vehicular assault of law enforcement officers in Orlando, Florida, and Markeith D. Lloyd, and the July 2016 ambush killing of 3 police officers in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, by Gavin Eugene Long. So the Moorish sovereigns are not, they're separated from the Moorish Science Temple. The Moorish Science Temple are not viewed the same way as the Moorish sovereigns. But to the average police on the street, they do not differentiate one from the other. They're not going to ask, are you a Moorish sovereign or are you a Moorish American? They're just going to make their decision on the spot. Bullets will fly. That's why we're doing what we do.
Indeed. And that's why y'all need to know that it's very important to pay attention. Y'all may think I do this for some YouTube views. I do have a real job, you know what I mean? And when I say a real job, I'm not working for anybody but me by the will of Allah. But I have a real job. I don't do this for no YouTube views. I could be doing something else, you know, but I know for a fact that if nobody is going to stand in the defense of the gospel as taught by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, then all this stuff is going to grow more legs within the age of technology, internet, smartphones, etc., on and on and on. It's really going to go rampant. I wish it was 5 more of me on YouTube, on IG. I wish it was 5 more. You know what I'm saying? To counterbalance this. But because it's not, I'm going to move like I'm 5 people and call on Ishmael, and then we're going to move like 10 people. That's just what it is. Now, I want to share with y'all what add a piece of what Ishmael Bey was just reading from the same article. And I want to define for you how these European, this come from the Sovereign Poverty website, and I don't care if people say, they racist, well, this is going to define you to try to put a bullet in your head. Okay, it is what it is. This will be defining moment of who you are when you say certain catchphrases and key words. And now, hey, I ain't scared. I'm standing on my square. Okay, stand on your square and see how everything gonna work out at the end of the day. Think about your children first would be my advice. But who am I? I'm just some yelling guy named Tahaka Bey. But anyway, it says that Moorish sovereigns are African-American offshoots, and we know we don't go by African-American, but who cares? We know who they talking about. Moorish sovereigns are an African-American offshoot of the predominantly Caucasian sovereign citizen movement. You hear? They're not talking about there was a part of the Caucasian sovereign citizen movement. They talk about the ideology was stripped, stole, borrowed from the European. Its members, called Moors, comprise a loose-knit network of independent Moorish organizations, Moorish organization that emerged in the early 1990s. Prophet Noble Drew Ali came in the year 1913. The height was between 1926 and 1929, and this had no place in Moorish science. According to Moorish-related websites, they believe Moors have descendants from the ancient indigenous civilization, such as the Moabites, Canaanites, and quote-unquote Black Native Americans. Moors believe this ancestry provides sovereignty, and I will correct this. The Moorish sovereign, as you call them, Mr. Euro, Mrs. Euro, the Moor National, as I refer to these brothers and sisters, believe that this ancestry provides sovereignty over and independence from federal, state, and local governments. I repeat, the Moorish Science Temple of America does not subscribe to that. I will share with you what the Moorish Science Temple of America subscribe to. The Moorish, this is Act 4. This is the divine constitution of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And it doesn't matter what leader you are under. It doesn't matter what temple you are under. If you are in the Moorish Science Temple of America, idealistically, this is what we subscribe to. It says, with us, all members must preserve these holy and divine laws. And all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. I pulled this offline just to share this, that being a Moorish American puts you in the government of the United States. We don't believe that we're not in opposition. We have a problem with the injustices like anybody else, but just like any other civilized person, we remedy them in a way that civilized people remedy them. And that could be taking political action, using our numbers to shift the paradigm. Act 5 states, this organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. How do you obey the laws of this government called the United States, if you will? Hereby. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. That's right. When we go to Act 6, it teaches us that these names that was given to slaves, Negro, it goes and saying, I'll finish with this. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality. And we're teaching our people that nationality in their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and partial of this said government, and talk about the said government, talk about the United States, part and partial of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. All right? But this is a new era time now. Somebody made this wrong, but I know it. This is a new era time now. And all men now must proclaim their free national name. Free national name is American, to be recognized by this government in which they live, which is the American government and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. And here's the part. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwest and southwestern shores of Africa. That is bringing us back to the divine connection of our people. This has nothing to do with sovereign citizen. Next one. Now, this brother here, Now, this was an earlier report where they said it was a traffic violation, and now we know the traffic violation was a parking ticket. And then this goes on to say that as they arrived, he shot, and then a gunfight ensued. However, it really doesn't make a difference whether they shot or he shot. This brother, life is gone, and his 3 children was in the house while this was taking place. It's those who teach this and have made thousands of dollars. Will anybody call Guthrie's girlfriend and see if they can find some counseling for these children? Will anybody take any of that fiat that they don't believe is real and give them some counseling? Nobody's going to speak on this. Nobody is going to say, you know what? Let me make a call and let me hit the Facebook page and let me reach out and see if there's anything I can do. Because these colonists have crossed the line, so the least I can do is call the family. Do you think anybody is going to reach out that serves this on a silver platter every day on YouTube, on Facebook, on all social media? Most likely they won't. You know, I think we should inbox, take up a collection, and see what we can do for these. As a matter of fact, that's what we're going to do. We're going to inbox, we're going to send something on the page and hope somebody reach out and see if we can put something together for these 3 small children. I don't like GoFundMe, but we might have to do a GoFundMe. Somebody do the GoFundMe and turn over the money. These 3 children had nothing to do with this. Traumatized. But here we go. At RB Bay, they using quotes from the Prophet Noble Drew Ali as they attribute quotes to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali to sell a way to get out of tickets. The Prophet is recorded as saying, the day will come when the European will tell you the truth. Then they say this is a simplified instruction on a way to eliminate ticket summons. Family, how do you take a holy and divine prophet and use his words for some tickets? It says Prophet Noble Drew Ali said he will make the European tell you the truth. And they're using this to sell the ideal to get you up out. Why don't you just get people up out of the traffic ticket? Why are you using Prophet Noble Drew Ali's name, associating it with this idea to get people out of a $25 ticket? Doesn't make sense. It's petty. It's petty. It's real petty. Then when you go here, it said, in the immediate aftermath, the first responders reported Guthrie had been shot 4 times, twice in the chest by the deputies. Guthrie died at the scene. He died at the scene with his children right there. Man, when is this stuff going to stop? When is this stuff going to stop? When people going to man up and say, man, I'm done. I'm done with that. It's a wrap. I'm done with it.
I think it's real important to realize that, and the public sees it, there's a growing amount of cases that people are seeing live time of us losing lives. We using the source of and the way that the misinformation is being presented out there, because Southern Poverty is not a group that's a friend of Moors. However, they're responsible in differentiating the difference between the Moorish Science Temple and the Moorish sovereigns. The whole difference is that it's the general public that doesn't know the difference between the two. Southern Poverty Law Center, I posted up on the backside, is the one that's labeled the MSTFA are not Moorish sovereigns. They differentiate the two. And that's very important, because when you go on that article, it says the roots of the Moors. And in the roots of the Moors of that section, it deals with the original history of the Moorish Science Temple being from Prophet Noble Drew Ali. But on the third paragraph of it, it says, unlike the white-dominated sovereign citizen movements today, however, the Moorish Science Temple of America was explicitly not anti-government, asserting that their noble Moorish heritage was supposed to enable blacks to gain the government's recognition and respect as full citizens.
That's right.
Rather than second-class descendants of slaves.
That's right.
Noble Drew Ali exhorted young MST of A members to see the duty and wisdom of all times upholding obedience to law, respect, and loyalty to government, and not to use any assertion against the American flag.
That's right.
So they know the difference between the Moorish sovereigns and the Moorish Science Temple of America. But it's Moors that keep on promoting the false ideology, putting innocent Moors' lives in jeopardy. That's who we're addressing with this. The people who are selling the mess on the websites, who keep on merging this stuff, when the people that are reporting it are letting them know, look, there's a difference between this group and that group. Don't mix the two together, because one is anti-government and the other ones are citizens of the government who are doing things the proper way. They're building businesses. They're spiritually enlightened. They're not anti-government, and they're not out killing police officers. So they understand the difference. I just wanted to make sure to point that out also.
Brother, I appreciate that, and that was very powerful. Very, very powerful, because it's very important, brother. Brother, man, we a tag team, brother. I gotta just tell you. Look, so what it is, family, let me finish up, and then I'm gonna let somebody call in. Brother, Islam, more. Give me 1 second more. I got a few more slides to go, and then I'm ready, all right?
Yeah, hey, look, for some reason, I'm listening to where you at on our time. 1 second more. I got a few more slides.
Yeah, it's always a delay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always a delay. That's how Google do, so they can track you. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna give you. I ain't say no more. I got some points. Yeah. Okay, I got you. Give me a minute. So anyway, here we go, family. So I wanted to share with you. This is the brother named Markeith that was mentioned by my brother Ishmael Bey. Now, this brother here, when you look at this brother here, this brother in January 17, I mean, you know, he got locked up, I think, for assault, and in July 2016, whatever. No. This is, I don't know what I'm doing with this. What's this for? Oh yeah. This is the brother that went in on the police in the ambush for his girl. I think he killed this girl while she was pregnant. And when he got locked up, let me catch up. When he got locked up, he was locked up for attempted to use legal maneuvers commonly used, and he was locked up for I think it was murder. But the point that I'm making is that, and killing a fetus. But the point that I'm making is he began to use this ideology that is espoused by R.B. Bey, which I'm telling you, they are the mothers and fathers of this stuff. Where it says, when Markeith D. Lloyd, 41, attempted to use legal maneuvers commonly used by sovereign citizens who believe the government has no jurisdiction over them, Chief Judge Frederick A. Lutton of Florida 9th Judicial Circuit was having none of it. So we see that this is a lesson that Taj teaches all the time. Jurisdictions. In the matter involving court appearances, hearings, it has already been established that all judicial power is invested in one court, the Supreme Court, and to any courts the Congress may, from time to time, delegate such powers to, which is done with a delegation of authority. And of course, it is in written form. In other words, in plain English, this is saying that if you're not in the Supreme Court, no one else has jurisdiction to adjudicate any crime locally unless they have a delegation of authority order from Congress. Now, we know that sounds ridiculous because if that was the case, hypothetically speaking, can we find one case where this really benefited and put somebody on the winning side? We can't find one case. Not one. Not one case can we find where the local courts had no authority to adjudicate. Man, this stuff sounds good in your living room or in your chat room. People going to jail for life. It goes on to say, he says, for the record, I want to state that I'm McKeith Lloyd, flesh and blood. The double murder suspect told the court, I'm a human being. I'm not a fictitious person. Where does he get that from? Where does that originate? It originates from the sovereign citizen European doctrine. However, it's been adopted by R.V. Bay. Status, your social standing in the community. Are you flesh and blood being, a natural person, or a corporate person? Family, I am a human being. I'm not a fictitious person, artificial construct. Again, he says, for the record, I want to state that I am Markeith Lloyd, flesh and blood. Are you flesh and blood? A natural person? A double murder suspect says, I'm a human being. I'm not a fictitious person. I'm not a corporation or a corporate person. Come on, man. Follow the breadcrumbs, sister. From R.B. Bay, it teaches you the difference between a natural and artificial person. This is their doctrine, initiated by them and perpetuated all throughout the Moorish sovereign or the Moor National community. A natural person is a human being. Artificial persons include a collection of successions of natural persons forming a corporation. They bring that out the law, but this is from one of their documents. Go to a step further. He says that, therefore, this is remember that this is this brother that killed his girlfriend, his pregnant girlfriend, and was convicted of double murder ultimately. But listen to what he said in his own defense. He goes on to say, therefore, I'm going to tell you the fact. I'm in due court. I accept the charges. Look how crazy this sounds, family. The suspect says, I want to use my UCC, Uniform Commercial Code, financial statement, my number to write these charges off. Double murder. Now, I'm not going to attribute that to charge. I'm not going to attribute that to charge, but those are some of the things that the Moorish National used to use at one point in time. That was the standard, the UCCs. He said he want to use his UCC financial statement, my number, to write these charges off. Lloyd faces a host of charges, including first-degree murder with a firearm, unlawful killing of an unborn child, attempted first-degree murder with a firearm, and 2 counts of attempted felony murder and other lesser counts. But I want to write these charges off. Look at this brother. This was probably before he drank the juice. Look at that brother. That looked like my brother. What's up, yo? Homie, what's going on? Look at him. That's the sister. Look at the brother. Now look at the brother. Y'all got to be careful, family. Y'all got to be careful what you put inside your mind. Look at this brother. Now look at this brother. Now look at this brother. Come on, family. You mean
Man, y'all gotta wake up, man.
Come on, family. You mean you gonna come from this, chilling with that beautiful sister, smiling in the sun in Florida, to this? To this?
And shootouts over parking tickets?
Indeed.
Getting murdered?
You gonna go from this in your truck to now murder over a traffic stop? Over a traffic stop, family.
We can't ignore the fact, if you go back to that one article where the MSTA was not Moorish sovereigns, there was the most important part of that, Brother Taharka, that deals with the Moorish offshoots. Moorish offshoots.
What paragraph?
It is a section down there that was underneath the part that dealt with the Moors or the Moorish roots. There's a part that deals with it says the Moorish offshoots. Can you read that?
The movement of sovereign citizens. Hold up, let me see.
Yeah, it was in that sovereigns in black. And if you go down to the Moorish roots, there's another section that you'll see.
Ideology roots has grown extremely rapidly in the last 2 or 3 years. And while Black Americans remain.
You saw the other Moorish offshoots?
I'm trying to see.
You'll see another sectioned off. If you go down to the roots of the Moors, you saw that part, right? The roots of the Moors.
Let me go down. Yeah, I got you.
Okay, so you go down about 10 paragraphs, you'll see another black section that'll say other Moorish offshoots.
Okay. I got you. I'm here.
Okay, yeah. So read that part.
Okay. Let me share it so the people see. I like the screen share. I like people see what I'm reading. I'm not going to be one of them Canaan Moor brothers that's get on there and just talking. We're gonna show what we talk about. And y'all can talk about the Southern Poverty website all y'all want. This is how they see you now.
Right.
Why would I go? Why would I go to bigupmoors.com? Nah, this is how the people see you. Bigupmoors.com is going to big you up. These people
this is the same article that said that the Moorish Science Temple has nothing to do with the Moorish sovereigns. This is the same article. They say that the Moorish Science Temple were dealing with the government in the proper way. But let's deal with it, other Moorish offshoots, and let's see what it says.
Other Moorish offshoots. Sovereign ideas had leaked into other Black Moorish groups. They still black. They still see them as black. I thought, hold on. If they proclaim their nationality and they standing on law and they declared this and declared that, they still refer to them as black. Y'all better sue them for that. Anyway, it goes on to say, R.B. Bay. Y'all hear this? R.B. Bay. Yeah, keep playing. Let me get my phone right. R.B. Bay. Noble Nature L. Bay. And Taj Tariq Bey lead the polemicists of, and I might be saying that wrong, polemicists of Moor's Order of the Round Table, propounds a nearly indecipherable, I believe that too, that stuff all over the place, political theory that melds sovereign concepts and an anti-government interpretation of
reinterpretation.
I'm sorry, reinterpretation. I'm sorry. Thank you, my brother.
Right.
Interpretation of the MST of A doctrine.
So let's look at what it says. Just breaking that part of it down. You're dealing with these three central characters as the lead polemicists of the Moors Order of the Round Table. Propounds a nearly indecipherable, meaning that they can't hardly even differentiate the differences between the political theory that melds sovereign concepts and an anti-government reinterpretation of the MST of A doctrine. That's all that Taharka Bey is talking about. He's saying that they are reinterpreting something. This is not the original intent of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. That's all that Brother Taharka Bey is trying to tell the audience. This is a reinterpretation of the Moor Science Temple of America doctrine. That's all that he's trying to emphasize to you.
Indeed. Indeed. So with that, I'm about to call my brother and get him on the line real quick. Give me one moment, family. So I wanted y'all to, I'm
getting my documents together. I'm pulling up some of these old cases that Brother Todd, Brother Nathan, them, and we all sent up there to the courts and how none of it worked. And
okay.
I'm pulling up pieces from Sister Valhalla that everybody like to share her video on how none of that.
Yeah. Well, I'm right now setting you up. So when you ready to go, just let me know. Say something. Let me see if the people can hear you. Let me stop the screen share. What I wanted to show is that one of the proponents and supporters of these theories is one and only this brother here. He got it right now, teaching it right now. 62 people watching it, teaching it right now. I mean, he in Canada. He's a Canadian, Moorish Canadian, but calling himself Moorish American. He's a Moorish Canadian now. You know what I mean? But runs around, calls himself Moorish American. He's a Moorish Canadian. Be recognized by the government in which you live. The government in which he lives is Canada, yet he thinks he's a Moorish American. You know, this is how crazy this doctrine has become.
Right. You know what I mean? Gets crazier than that. It gets crazier than that. It goes as so far as to what's his name? Cujo. He's using the Moor Science Temple of America charter that he got from Chicago to quote unquote naturalize Europeans within the Moorish Divine and National Movement.
And how crazy is that, brother?
There's a brother on Facebook by the name of Patrick Lampron, Lamron, and he told me that basically he liked to fashion his name to think that it means running with the light that he got from the Moors. So it's Patrick Lampron, Lampron, excuse me. But yeah, I spoke to him and told him, man, don't say that no more, man. You know, you can't claim that. I know what they told you, but that was false. And so he believed that he was naturalized within the Moorish Divine and National Movement. It's about 3 other Europeans that go up on Facebook that follow behind these guys and think the same thing. And Brother Kamal Bey, he actually endorses it. You know what I'm saying? And because they say that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was universal prophet and that he would let Europeans in. You know, that he would, you know. So, I mean, they're inviting the Moorish sovereignty aspect. There's a brother, Vance Kelly L. Day, European as ever. You know what I mean? But he brags that he is more Moorish American and Asiatic than the Asiatic Moorish Americans of North America. You know what I mean? And everybody got him up on their friends list. And, you know, these cats are involved with the sovereign citizen tactics and processes and procedures that's not taught in the Moorish Divine and National Movement. They don't believe in having the national identification card issued by the Moorish Science Temple of America. You know, so what they do is they sell their own rendition or their own package, or, you know, they sit online all day. And that's where they gas people up. And then people get online. They get on YouTube. They watch a couple of videos. They go to lauderer.com. They order a fez. You know, they order a card from RV Bay, and then they suit themselves up with the paperwork, and they go out to test it, and they go out to try it. And the people that's outside the movement that don't know the difference to be able to tell the real or the fake and who has authority and who don't, you know, they take it hook, line, and sinker. So you got many offshoot splinter Moorish organizations.
So, brother, let the people know your experience so they know what qualifies you to speak on the topic or the issue of the Moorish National, or quote unquote, as the European like to refer to it, the Moorish sovereign. What qualifies you to speak to the subject? And
because I used to think that I was one of them.
And
I used to follow the same doctrine, and then I used to teach it. And I was instructed by Brother Taj himself, you know what I mean, to teach certain people. And one of those brothers that was instructed to teach, you know what I'm saying, I stopped him because, you know, I told him it wasn't a good idea to squat the houses, and he went on ahead and did it anyway. So he went on ahead and was connecting with Brother Taj through Sister Delilah, you know, and what ended up happening was the brother got a lot of time in Baltimore, and he's in prison right now trying to fight his case. The brother name is Lamont Butlerell, you know, and I got his newspaper clippings. I got his casework and everything like that. And ain't nobody helping that brother out. Ain't nobody sending him no money, taking care of his children or nothing. None of that stuff works.
so
Brother Taj, Brother Sabir, none of them will ever get caught driving or traveling, because they know that if that happens and their name is so big that once they get caught, the whole illusion is up.
So who drives for them?
Who, what?
Who drives for them? If you say they never get caught traveling, they own a license?
Sister Roz got one.
So Sister Harvey Bay, they got the right to travel card on the website, actually has a driver's license.
And a driver and a state tag too.
And got state tags.
Yeah, they're not gonna get caught driving. They'll park around the corner because it collapsed the illusion that pushes the narrative of selling these documents.
Hey brother, have you ever fell victim to I would say the judicial system by following this doctrine? In other words, in layman's term, have you ever been locked up, put in some place like you was half crazy or something? Any of those things ever happened to you?
A whole bunch of times in Lake County, Mount Dora, Florida. You know, a sister, well, it was a European lady, a judge, that I had a case, and I was following instructions of Brother Taj and them, calling them back and forth. And then when I got locked up, nobody wanted to help. What they did do was they sent the sister woman I was staying with, they sent her a printer. You know, but
a printer. Hold up, you in prison and you need a printer?
Yeah. So the lady, I didn't actually get to the state. You know what I'm saying? That didn't happen until I got back up there to Pennsylvania. But what ended up happening was, you know, I was battling with the judge back and forth for about a month or 2 months, and they kept pushing the court date back. And then she finally she finally came one day and was like, "All right, Mr. L, I, you know, did my research on Noble Drew Ali and the Moorish Science Temple of America, and I was taught to object because the temple is trying to put you back into slavery. They believe in driver's licenses, they believe in birth certificates, social security cards, state tags, etc. And that's not where the birthright lies. That they just play church. They're churchy people, and they just believe in the divine side and not the natural side. They don't teach civics and they don't teach law. So I objected. And so the lady, you know, huffed and puffed, took a breath, took her glasses off, wiped her face, looked at me, looked at the bailiffs, looked at, you know, the family that I had there. And what she did was she said, "All right, I am going to let you out of jail." And she was like, "But you're going to go to the psych ward." So she banged the gavel and then got me out of there. I had told them to reprimand me and transport me to the psych ward. And I had to eventually work myself up out of there. By myself.
And so, did the printer help you?
What printer?
Did they ever send the print? They sent the printer. Did the printer help you out?
Oh, the printer. Oh, man, that printer is in the box right now in the basement in York City, Pennsylvania, man.
So the printer, was the printer primarily for you to produce more documents to try to assist you in this?
Yeah, because it's all in contemplation. It's all like lab rat, guinea pig, test crash dummy type demonstrations where we just want to see what does work and what don't work. Here are the templates to the affidavits. You know, take your names out, take their names out, type in your names as particulars, and then send it and tailor it to the government officials in that state and in that area. And then that's how you know what I mean, push that doctrine like that. You feel me? You just personalize the documents and you try it. And then what worked, you know, let them know. What didn't work, let them know what they said. You know, what did they do?
What did they say when you did that? You know, and things of that nature. And then when something does work or something that they like, they Islam it. When something doesn't work, they just say, you know, stand your square, study, study, study. They're trying to, you know, take your birthright. You know, they're trying to they're breaking the treaty. They're kidnapping. You know, they're a corporation. You feel me? Don't forget. You know, they're trying to scare you away. It's not racism. It's birthright theft. They're trying to fraud your estate. You know what I'm saying? And
no jurisdiction.
Yeah, brother. This is something.
I mean, everybody that does that got the same story. I just wanted to read some of the court cases that.
Oh, come on, brother.
I mean,
we got 24 minutes, brother. You can go ahead and take 15 of them. Come on with it. Absolutely. And they said, who is that speaking? That's my. I can't hear you, brother.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I get you now.
If you go look up docket number 05.
You want me to look it up now?
CV-345. Can you hear me?
I can Google it right now. What you say?
It says 05-CV-345-.
05
it says the Great Seal, Moorish Science Temple
Hold
of
up.
America.
Let's do it one more time. I like this. I like this. Go one more time with me. Docket number 05-
05-CV-345. This was in the state of New Jersey and Asbury Park. And the defendants are the police department, Asbury Park Police Department, the Sergeant John Broyles, Broyles, Officer Joseph P. Spallina, Spallina, Officer John P. Sosden, Sosdian III, Patricia Green, their court clerk, Wall TWSP Police Department, Sergeant Lancelot, Lancelott, Sergeant Broccoli, and Tim's Towing, and Richard's Auto Body Shop. Those are all the defendants that placed lawsuits on all of them. And basically, Brother Taj Tariq Bey on docket number 1 and 2, he said that he's the minister, and the motion was in opposition. And basically, he was saying that he called himself the Grand Chief of the Moorish Science Temple of America, which he not. And him and Brother Nature got his Mercedes Benz taken at Asbury Park for the plates that they sell. And basically, they just said that they was unintelligible. None of that worked. They didn't have. They lacked jurisdiction. They put the paperwork in the wrong venue, and basically everything, they shot it down null and void. Nothing ever happened to the officers.
Okay, so I'm looking at it right now.
And he had to pay to get his car back. He had a Mercedes Benz. It was a brand new Mercedes Benz at the time.
So it says that the decision 3, the Moors brought a suit against all defendants in Eastern District of Pennsylvania. From what the court can divide.
Number 1, are you reading it?
Yeah, From the complaint, the Moors are attempting to allege violation of federal law. The Wall defendants of Asbury defendants have filed a motion to dismiss plaintiffs. Complaint pursuant number. A defendant may assert improper venue and motion to dismiss number. All the defendants appear to be residents of the state of New Jersey. The Moors have presented no allegation that connects any of the defendants or the actions about to seem to complain to any local within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, let alone Eastern District of Pennsylvania. In a civil action where jurisdiction is not based on diversity of citizenship, venue is governed by 28 U.S.C. 139(1) Here from the court can divine from the Moors filing. They bring this action pursuant to federal question jurisdiction. The Moors have filed to state or respond to the motion I'm trying to get to the end of it. Let's just get to the end and see what was the ultimate decision. The ultimate decision is the case was closed. All motions dismissed. Dismissed. So do they have, let me ask you a question. The Moor summary judgment motion.
Did you go to the part where they said that they was denied?
It's denied. Yeah, I see it. It's denied.
Right.
The motion to dismiss, granted. It's denied. Let me ask you a question. I'll put this in the chat for the people can see if they want to do it. I just put it in the chat, but y'all can go see it for yourself. What I want to do is ask you, do you have any, now to be fair, have they ever prevailed in winning any type of motion filing? Because I don't think Taj filed anything in a mini moon now. I think he stopped. He just leaves that up to the people that follow him.
Nah, I got 4 more cases that we don't even have the time for here. But I mean, I got the docket numbers, the cases.
Bro, I told you, I'm waiting for you to do a whole show with me and you, brother.
Yeah, man, we're gonna have to go through that, man.
I'm waiting on you.
Yeah, you're right.
Every time I'm ready to do something, you teaching the class. Every time.
Yeah,
but that's
man,
what you're supposed to be doing, boy. So I give you a pass.
Worrying about the people. Yeah,
I give you a pass for teaching the class, boy. That's it. And more. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna get a few more calls in real quick, right? But more, the door is open for you to come on here. All you got to do is hit my phone. You already know.
Yeah, man, keep in contact. Hit my phone, because, bro, like, I got cases on cases on cases, and nothing was won from either side. They done tried to use the Temple name. They done tried to use Great Seal name, CM Bay name, Washington. I mean, bro, I got, like, cases. Like, it's right there in the black and whites. You feel me? We just going to read the cases and let that happen. And then these is the things that they sweep on the rug. And this is why they don't actually do it themselves. They get other people, gas them up, put the battery in their back, and send them out there, and they willing to do it.
I'm waiting. Brother, we got to do this, brother. I got the people, man. The people are interested. Shout out to Woods Hill. He said, yeah, bring the brother on a full show. You know, I've been telling you this for a minute, brother.
Yo, bro, it's so much out, like it's a lot, and people don't know where to find it. I know it because I was there. I seen it. I know where. You know what I'm saying? I can't get down with it no more, because you know when it happens to other people, it be like, well, man, they should have studied. They said it wrong. They did this wrong. They did that wrong. But then when it happened to you and you teaching this stuff and nothing happens, and then you see other teachers like Sister Valhara locked up. I got 2 of her cases right here. You know what I mean? Don't nobody even know what happened to her anymore. You know what I mean? And Taj ain't speaking on it or nothing like that. But they share her video on YouTube like it's the gospel. And that earlier video that you was talking about where you said Taj Rebay was the father of that thought, you got to go look up Driver's License Fraud by Taj.
And I got that.
That's when he started. Yeah, that's that.
Yeah,
Mo, it's a lot, man. It's a lot, but I'm gonna get up off of here though. But I'm watching, man. It's crazy.
Yes, sir. So, brother, you got to let the people just say they want you to come on the show, brother. That's what they say.
Yeah, they don't want that.
Well, you know I do. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We got to, man.
Hey, brother.
A lady, I called a lady earlier today trying to sell me a nationality pack of $375.
Hey, bro, do you still have
she took
that?
half the paperwork from Todd. She took half the paperwork from Brother Eileen. She took half the paperwork from Washington. And she got like a nice little hybrid gumbo, nice, packet that she sells for $375.
So, brother, let me ask you this. I wanted to snatch that video. Did you snatch that video down? Because I caught a piece of it, but I was grinding today. I couldn't catch it all. I wanted to get that because that was a wicked mixed up ideology right there as it even relates. Taj would even be upset.
These Taj zombies, bro, I was worse than them, but they like another level sleep. Like they don't even know the dude, and they like, oh, don't you ever speak on, like you can't, like I just asked a simple question online. I was like, and I'm asking questions I know that they can't answer. But it's just to get them to think. Taj is always talking about clearing concepts and telling the truth and how to look for, if someone is telling the truth or not or being a fraud. just ask Taj, like, yo, what adept chamber did you go through since, you know what I'm saying, you always saying that you teaching adept Moorish science. If you teaching adept Moorish science, what adept chamber did you go through, when and where, and who was the chamber master? And then ask him who made him a grand sheik. If he's a grand sheik, then who's the assistant grand sheik? And if he's the grand sheik, who's the governor that made him a grand sheik? What temple and when? You see what I'm saying? And then ask him who gave him that black fez? What governor gave? How did he get that degree? You know, or did you just order it offline? You know what I'm saying? Because those things, when you don't know the difference and you just see it, it adds weight to what the person is saying, especially if you never heard it before or you're not familiar. So you be like, oh, this dude is an adept, grand sheik, and he's teaching us the stuff that the temple don't even want us to know, that don't teach no more. But when you actually go there yourself and you see it and you get it for yourself, you like, man, I know stuff he don't know now.
That's right. That's right. I guarantee you. Hey, brother, I guarantee you, people in my temple know more about Moorish science than Taj, and he's been around way longer than me. And you sit next to a brother who's a member of my temple right now.
Yeah, Mo.
Yeah.
And my temple, it ain't even no quote unquote temple Moors. Like, we all started out against the temple at one point in time, but we had to succumb to the truth and realize, you know, the facts behind what was really being taught versus what actually is. Because when you don't know, that's one thing. But once you actually see for yourself and become a member and you sit long enough, you pay your dues and you learn, they do teach law, they do teach civics, they do teach history. You know what I mean? The divine and the national. But if you always online, on Facebook, on YouTube, and you traveling to pay $100 for, you know, classes and $375 for nationality packets, and you know, paying $60 entry fees to lectures, and you got to travel like 4 and 5 states, it's certain questions that you're just not going to be able to ask. So they'll always say, oh no, that's another class, that's another lecture. You know what I mean? They don't, you know what I mean? They don't touch it. And you don't want to come all that way and spend all that money and then spoil it and then lose it and then get kicked out of there. So there's certain questions that you're just not going to be able to ask. You know what I mean? And when you don't know the difference, it's easy to get suckered. You feel me?
Indeed. Brother, we got to do that show, brother. I'm going to wrap this one up because tomorrow we got the Sheikh on the show, brother. What you think about that?
Yeah, man. Hey, look, I'm watching, yo. Me and the Moors, we in here, we deep. We
hey,
watching,
brother.
Like, bro.
And you with my brother Funk down with this? Is he with you this evening?
Yo, hey, fuck, yo. Hold on, Mo. Hold on. Well,
where you at?
Islam, Mo.
Islam, my brother. This is one of my brothers. This is one of the members that's in the temple. More. Do we go in deep more?
Yeah, you can't catch Jews and swine no more.
You know? More. That's right, more. So when we teach Moorish science, we teach it within the closed circle, and those who want to enter in the circle, they welcome to come in and get it all. You know, it ain't for YouTube, it ain't for Facebook, it ain't for IG or none of that. You know what I mean? If they really want it, they can get it, but they just got to come on in the circle. And then we'll teach like this in public.
Want a clean cup of water, they got to come to the temple.
Indeed. Peace, my brother. I talk to you on Thursday or whatever you need. Give me a call and we good, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Keep doing what y'all doing. I know y'all building on the principle of love and the other 4. So it is what it is. So I appreciate you. Brother Ish, are you there? Peace and love, family.
Yes, sir, Brother Doc. I'm here.
Yeah, brother. Those are my, I'm going to tell you, the one brother right there, he is what the prophet would call the white-clad soldier. He be in the background, ready.
Yes, sir.
And my other brother Whipple, see, that's the new generation for real. That's the young folk now. Those type of brother are the ones that's going to take it to the next level. You see,
that's right.
My job is to inspire brothers like that. And inshallah, I have. And those are the ones that will put the Holy Quran in your hand or put hands on you if you got an issue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I want to salute I want to salute those Swift Angels, man. They really doing a great work. you know, and they're doing it the right way. They're doing it in the right spirit. You can tell that they're very organized with the information that they're presenting. They're putting it out very responsibly, and they're also sharing their experience, their firsthand experience. So they're going about it the right way. I salute the Swift Angels.
And brother, and you notice, I said, brother, I've been trying to get you on the show for a minute. They don't do it for show. He's not doing it for show. He could have been on the show a long time ago. He's not doing it to poke his chest out. He's not doing it for that. He waiting for the right moment to say, let me do it.
They got the right spirit. Exactly right. That's right. You can definitely tell.
So, brother, I'm gonna close out, brother. Anything you, brother, let me ask you, what do you've been around just as long as any other person that said that they conscious in this paradigm, brother? What do you think about tomorrow's show? The Sheikh, Supreme Grand Sheikh of MSTFA 1928, Rasadiel will be on the show, and he's gonna allow me to interview him. Anything goes with the questions. The only thing I will not have is the name calling and the disrespect, and I don't think we're gonna have that. I think we're gonna have a clean, nice, uncut presentation, representation of what my brother Supreme Grand Sheikh Rasadiel stand for, where he came from, where he's at, where he's going, his body. What do you think about that, brother? I think this is monumental, brother.
I think it further bears witness that you have established a platform that all Moors feel comfortable in coming to your show in order to discuss things. That's what men do. And I know for a fact that, you know, a brother like Rasadiel, you know, you conduct yourself always as a civilized Moor. So, of course, they're going to respect your form, you know, and not come with disrespect nor a disrespectful spirit. You know, he's one of the elders that's well known within the Moorish paradigm. And I think it's very important that people recognize the fact that you created a platform that so many people feel so comfortable being able to come, whether it's brother Sheikh Rasadiel, whether it's Wesley Muhammad, or a whole line of other people who you brought on your show. So
and that's what
I think it's a very good thing.
I want to let y'all know, shout out to my brother Malik Zulu Shabazz. Brother, he spread my name like wildfire. Every interview, you know, brother Ishmael Bay, on to Ishmael Bay for bringing him on the show. That brother spread my name. He said, we're going to have, he said, Ishmael Bay, we're going to have Tahaka Bay. I've been checking
That's right.
out, brother. I've been checking
That's
out.
Right. That's right. The convention is huge.
Brother.
You're gonna be right next to Cornell West and all the Giants, brother.
That's what I said, man. He mentioned Cornell West. He mentioned all these big names, and then he mentioned little old me Tahaka Bay. I think
my brother.
So shout out to my brother, man. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna begin to promote it. A matter of fact, on tomorrow's show, I'm going to begin to promote the flyer. Let everybody know that if you're in the Washington, D.C. area in April, come on out and enjoy the, I think it's the 10,000 Black Man's March. I'm going out there as a Moorish American. I am a Moorish American, but I do understand and got common sense what my people mean when they say that they are Black. Their concept is not a derogatory concept, though the concept of the European is a derogatory concept. But let me say again that we come from empires. All people did not see things alike. But where is the intent? What is the intent of a Malik Zulu Shabazz? What is the intent?
And that's good that you clarify that, brother Tahaka, because what I want the audience to understand that too. What me and Tahaka, what we were able to do was we created a More Millions movement to merge it with the movement of what Malik Zulu Shabazz is doing. We have specific needs as Moorish Americans. We have specific things that we need to address as Moorish Americans. So whether it's our economics, whether it's our projects and what we're doing as Moors, we're merging our movement with their movement to work in conjunction with them. But we're independent as Moors and not falling under the Black paradigm, but as Moorish Americans in that More Millions movement, we want to let all the Moors know You can participate. We have things and solutions that are going to be available. We're even going to have things like getting your records expunged. If you have felonies, if you have misdemeanors, we'll have attorneys there to make sure that you get a clean shot. You can get a clean slate at life so that you can then be productive and create your own business, create or get employment, and you have a clean, a fair shot. So that's just one of the things. We're having health seminars. We're having educators. Dr. Harker Bay is going to be leading the charge of the Moorish movement, and I'm going to be right beside him every step of the way. Yes, sir, brother. What do you want to say?
If somebody had some felonies on their record and they wanted to get it expunged, you think they would have a problem with it being taken care by a brother that yells Black Power? You think they would say, "No, I don't want my record expunged because you yell Black Power"? What do you think?
No, Malik Zulu Shabazz has gotten murderers off. He's won court cases. He's on the front line. He's a licensed attorney. We need licensed attorneys that can deal with it, whether it's Black Power, whether it's Moor Power, or anything else. Dr. Malik Zulu Shabazz has a proven history of working on our behalf alongside Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad every step of the way. So what were you about to say, brother?
What's so funny to me is that Moors need to step into the 21st century. If a brother is yelling Black Power, if he's propagating black, that don't mean you have to propagate that. You work with Europeans all day, every day, and you probably blend in and use the term white with him all day, every day. You don't tell him stop calling yourself white. Why you call yourself white, boss?
Oh yeah, well, more are catching charges with all of this more sovereignty stuff. You're catching the felonies and you're catching the misdemeanors. You need somebody to help clean them up.
Exactly. So I want that the Moors know that it's okay if your brother, that's what he want to do. It's all right. That's what he want to do. When he don't make you poop, salvation is personal. Take it and save yourself.
Absolutely. Malik Zulu Shabazz came on this show and said proudly that he was a Moor. He said that proudly on a forum. He came and he addressed the Moorish nation and coming back for another show to address the Moorish nation. So he knows what his history is. Khalid Abdul Muhammad said that he was a Moor. So we know exactly who we're dealing with. We're dealing with sisters and brothers who we love and who are part of our family, and that we support them and they support us. We're all in this together.
Exactly. And with that being said, let me see. We are all one. How we don't function like one. That's the issue. But Naima, we don't function like one because we want to try to make people like us. If we respect people functioning in the way that they choose to function, that would alleviate some of the friction. But that doesn't mean we tolerate those who don't function like us, that is manipulating the least of understanding or the least among us that may not understand. Meaning that the one that don't function out like us and is taking advantage of somebody, it's up to us to stand up and draw the line. But if someone is functioning not like us, but their intentions is our intentions, then we need to unite on that, on the intent of good.
And we're going to have Dr. Claude Anderson there too. Elder Claude Anderson will be there with his economics. Dr. Boyce Watkins will be there. We'll be having a lot of people that are able to really put us in a productive situation. And Moor should always be industrious. We're very industrious minded. And Brother Tahaka Bey, you're industrious minded. You're self-employed. You understand exactly how Moors are supposed to be industrious. So we're trying to all get together and put together projects that's going to make us productive as a people. So we're covering so much ground. Make sure that you're in Washington, D.C., April 18th to the 22nd. Don't miss it. It's going to be a convention, one for the record books. And I'm telling you, we're taking it from top to bottom. You don't want to miss it.
That's right, brother. And with that, we're going to take it like this. We're going to do it like this, family. What y'all know about this? Huh? Watch this. What y'all know about this? Check it out. Y'all ready? I'm trying to find it, family. Let me get it. I'm I'm trying to get it, fam. Watch it. I'm trying to get it, family. I'm trying to get it. Let me see. What y'all know what's in? Huh? There we go. Y'all ready? I'm about to give it to y'all. Hold up. Let me see if I can get it right here. I gotta bring it up like this. I gotta bring it up like this. I'm about to bring it up like this. I ain't heard this song in a minute. I've been keeping it in the background. I'm gonna get it, fam. Hold on. I'm gonna get it in 1 second. I'm gonna get it 1 second. We're gonna get this. I ain't played in a while.
This man was teaching Islam here to everybody else. This man was teaching Islam here to everybody else. That means the head of Master Quran Muhammad and Elijah.
Let me cue it up.
What's in the nation?
Let me cue it up.
Taught under the strict religious.
Can I cue it up?
No Islam.
Shout out to Malik Zulu Smash. Malik Zulu. Hold up.
No disrespect.
Shout out.
Teaching Islam here to everybody else.
Y'all ready?
That means the head of Master Quran
Y'all ready?
and Elijah Muhammad. What's in the nation of Islam?
Yeah, Nick, this one for you. Animal, this one for you.
No Islam.
Man down.
No knowledge.
Check it out. Let me get back. Where was y'all in 1913? This is back before Martin had a dream. This is where Elijah had fun. We was in the grave, the land of the North. Where was y'all when he was on the milk crate, going hard on 35th State? Where was y'all when he only had his flag on Indiana Avenue, hands on his head? Hey, where was y'all when the enemy tried to kill him, when they said he was a prophet, but really didn't feel him? Where y'all at now? Are you with me or you down? It's time to stand up. The prophecy is down. Hey, now what you gonna do about it? Haven't nothing to Ali. He knew about it. I'm the 34th generation. So I ain't worried about all the hate, all the crazy misinformation needs to stop. We're gonna make you do what's part of the plot to keep them on top and leave us at the bottom with the mic you call the prophet in the heart when you forgot him. Hey, you ain't fighting this war right. Bags under eyes, never slept in 4 nights, reading all the books and trying to hear the law. When the prophet was the first and he said the more songs, he left his feet really cut on the south side. 30,000 for the 39, ready to ride on food, on farms, on community. And I'm going with the prophets on it. What you gonna do to me? Hey! Martin had a dream, that's right. Ready for Elijah had fun. We was in the grave, the land of the North. Where was y'all when he was on the milk crate, going hard on 35th State? Where was y'all when he only had his flag on Indiana Avenue, fans on his head? Hey, where was y'all when the enemy tried to kill him, when they said he was a prophet, but really didn't feel him? Where y'all at now? Are you with me or are you down? It's time to stand up. The prophecy is now, hey, I hear you talking. Now tell me what you producing. Claiming me nothing, I'll be here talking stupid. Up in the courts, getting beat up in the hallway. The king crowd is on the ground, it's going to be a long day. Make you wanna cry, I can't deny it. Let's see my people so misguided. Why in the world we so divided? All we gotta do is use what the process provided. Always trying to take the shortcut. I'm beating weird stuff like you on the short bus. The world is watching. Our people wait for us to stand up and be a Moorish nation. Hey, where was y'all at in 1913? This is way before Martin had a dream. Way before Elijah had blood. We was in the grave, the land of the God. Hey, where was y'all when he was on the milk crate? Going hard on a very different state. Where was y'all when he only had his flag on Indiana Avenue, stands on his head? Hey! I'm a fool. Got the gun and always living. I'm not a fool. They wouldn't come in your house or come amongst you and slam them, if I didn't feel in my heart, in my soul that I am. So you goddamn it, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. No more. So if I say it, I mean it. Sure. Listen, I understand, man. Where was y'all in 1913? This was way before Martin had a dream. Way before Elijah had blood. We was in the grave, the land of the Lord. Where was y'all when he was on the milk crate? Going hard on 35th state. Where was y'all when he only had the flag on Indiana Avenue, fans on his head? Hey, where was y'all when they didn't stop the killer, when they said it was a pocket, but still didn't kill him? When y'all let down, or you put me on you down. It's time to stand up, the prophecy is down. Hey, the prophecy is down. Hey, the prophecy is down. It's time to stand up. It's time to stand up. The prophecy is down. Hey. That's right, family. That's how we do it. I'm going to see you tomorrow with the Sheikh. Rashadi L will be in the building. We ain't taking no shorts. We do it for the people. It is what it is. You ain't got to like it, but it will set you free. I be that boy, you gon' be mother. I'ma be that boy, you gon' be mother. I be that boy, you gon' be mother. Dog, away front line to the law, call my number. I be that boy, you gon' remember. I'ma be that boy, you gon' remember. That's right. I be that boy, you gon' remember. Talk the way front line to the law. But you a friend of the cause, and you a friend of mine. I was told to watch my enemy to hold my line. Doesn't speak against the prophet, they speak against me. When I speak about the prophet over through eyes. You want the first to remind you and bind you back to a rock on the mountain, Mississippi, and Quebec. Told you wasn't black. You it was straight back. You tripping off trust, you hear me tripping off that. And here we go again, acting like you a slave. The same people turned European out of fame. They're looking at women by European hair. No love for self, but do the men really care? Well, no, cause they got a love for Europe. Whole generation chasing Philippines and serve. Yeah, they love no naughty. Gucci, Gucci, Kodak, Amigo, Bars, Bootsy. But when the love for the woman look like your brother, I guess they say it's all black when it's under the cover. Now fight. I be that one you gon' remember. What? I'ma be that one you gon' remember. That's right. I be that one you gon' remember. To all the way from line to the law, call my number. Hey! I be that one you gon' remember. Hey! I'ma be that one you gon' remember. That's right. I be that one you gon' remember. To all the way from line to the law, call my number. Listen, man. Man, let me keep it 100, family. Man, I love Moorish Americans, man. I love my people, regardless of what they go by. If they go by Negro, black, and colored, I would hope they would come on home. But if they're not ready to come home, I love you anyway. I love the sovereign, idealistic Moors. I'm just asking you, please reconsider. Reconsider your doctrine. Take a deeper look. Call me, inbox me, email me, have a discussion. Let's compare the doctrine in which you know, to the evidence that I have to produce of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I will give you word for word without interpretation. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I will not say this mean this or that mean that. I will say this is what the prophet said. Now let's move as one. And that's just what it is. I love you, family, and that's coming from the heart. It wouldn't matter if it's Cujo, Roy Bay, my brother Faulkner L, Sister Dawn Wright L, Rashadi L, R. Jones Bay, Brother Sharif Anel Bay. It don't matter who you are. You know, love is the savior of the world. We ain't gonna let nobody chump us because we say we love you. We ain't going for the okie doke because we say we love you. But love is the savior of the world, and I love you, family, and this is for real. Let's go. It sound good, but it's only on the surface. While it's working for the people. But tell me what's your purpose. Ain't worried about your homie, but know that I know every low that rock the feds. He ain't my bro. Cause you know I ain't slow. I seen it all before.